On a quiet October evening in the town of Gray Bend, Tennessee, population just under 9,000, the lights in Dr. Ellis Marrow's office flickered out for the last time. By all accounts, he was the sort of man small towns feel lucky to have. The doctor who stayed late to squeeze in walk-ins, who made house calls for the elderly, who knew his patients by name. So when he failed to show up for his morning rounds on October 17, 2021, Gray Bend felt a chill ripple through its tight-knit streets. By nightfall, Ellis's car was found abandoned near a fishing dock on Lake Heron, keys still inside, his leather medical bag tossed carelessly in the passenger seat. To Sheriff Dana Coulter, it looked like a robbery gone wrong. Or worse, a random act of violence. But as days stretched into weeks, the good doctor's disappearance began unraveling a web of secrets no one in Gray Bend had expected. The first few days were drenched in grief and fear. Residents organized candlelight vigils, passing flyers with Ellis's photograph. The graying hair, the kind smile, the stethoscope slung casually around his neck. Patients spoke of how he once drove through a snowstorm to deliver an insulin injection, or how he slipped envelopes of cash into struggling families' mailboxes. Yet beneath the mourning, investigators began hearing whispers. A local mechanic claimed Ellis had been seen arguing outside the clinic late at night with someone in a hooded sweatshirt. A waitress recalled him meeting a woman she didn't recognize, his hand brushing hers a little too familiarly across the diner counter. The image of the selfless small-town doctor began to fracture. Phone records deepened the suspicion. Investigators found Ellis had been maintaining a secret apartment in Nashville, just over an hour away. Inside, detectives discovered wine glasses in the sink, women's clothing in the closet, and handwritten letters tucked into books. The letters painted a complicated picture. Ellis had been in a 2-year relationship with a woman named Marissa, unknown to his wife of 22 years, Claire. When detectives interviewed Marissa, she insisted Ellis had promised to leave his marriage. The night he disappeared, he'd told her he was finally ready. But according to Claire, that same evening Ellis had promised her he was recommitting to their family, confessing his affair and swearing it was over. 2 women, 2 promises, and a man caught between them. The turning point came when forensic techs examined Ellis's abandoned car more closely. At first, the vehicle seemed wiped clean, but tucked beneath the seat was a strand of hair, later matched through DNA testing to someone entirely unexpected. Daniel Marrow, Ellis's 19-year-old son. Daniel initially denied involvement, but inconsistencies in his timeline began to crack under pressure. He had claimed to be at a friend's house the night his father vanished, but phone data placed him near Lake Heron around midnight. When finally confronted with the evidence, Daniel broke down. Through sobs, Daniel told investigators he hadn't meant for things to go so far. He had overheard his father confessing to Claire about the affair. When Ellis left to clear his head, Daniel followed, furious over the humiliation his family would endure. At the dock, words escalated into shoves. Daniel claimed his father slipped, striking his head against the wooden planks. Panicked, Daniel pushed the unconscious body into the lake, believing the water would hide what had happened. Divers later recovered Ellis's body from the dark waters of Heron, weighted by debris. The truth was both shocking and tragically mundane. Not a robbery, not a lover's jealous rage, but a son's desperate attempt to protect the image of a family already fractured. The revelation shattered Gray Bend. At trial, townsfolk filled the gallery, torn between grief for the man they'd lost and pity for the boy who had taken him. Daniel was convicted of manslaughter, sentenced to 12 years in prison. Claire never returned to the family home. She moved quietly out of town, leaving behind the place where every corner bore Ellis's shadow. Marissa vanished as well, her Nashville apartment emptied overnight. To this day, residents of Gray Bend still speak of Ellis Marrow with a mix of reverence and sorrow. They remember the doctor who gave them comfort and the secrets that ultimately destroyed him. And when the autumn fog rolls across Lake Heron, the dock where his car was found stands as a grim reminder. In small towns, darkness doesn't always come from strangers. It can live inside the very homes we think we know best.